For my project, I chose to do lightsabers, high quality metal hilts and dueling blades with sound and lights. My original BMC was quite scattered, very limited. I knew as a partner I'd need something like Plector Labs, who does the sound cards for many of the current lightsabers that are out there. I knew that my cost structure would include materials, rent, and shipping, and that I could probably sell these at Halloween stores, Comic-Con, and on a website. One of the big things that I noticed people liked in certain lightsabers were mini interchangeable parts, so they could kind of customize their own weapon. I also wanted to use Facebook as kind of a way to get out there, and the rest of it was just kind of worthless. It didn't really make any sense of why I wrote it down. My minimum value product is just a hilt. It would be a metal hilt, custom designed. It would be ready for electronics and a blade to be inserted, but the buyer would have to go out and do that themselves. As for market sizing, there's around 25 companies that are currently selling online for lightsabers, and also just the toys that people buy their kids. I figured that we could probably get around 1,000 sales a year. My value proposition, starting at the top with the least uh, is switch position. So the switch isn't in the way of the hands, you're not going to bump it on and off. Color options are nice to have, but not super important. People would like to see these come down in price, but real big were interchangeable parts and that it was durable. You don't want this, you don't want your product breaking when in the middle of use. My customer segments expanded outwards to Star Wars fans, Disney fans, and people who dress up and want to do things like Comic-Con. These are huge in that industry. Partners, I found another company on top of Plector Labs, VPI Tech, which could also do the electronics, but I would think they'd be more expensive because they would have to completely custom build my sound card from the ground up, where Plector Labs could be more of a supplier. Metal Depot is one of the many pipe stock suppliers that are online, easy to replace if I find cheaper parts or find better customer service elsewhere. My key activities, first we really need to get a design going, CAD of all the parts that we would like to have ready to go for day one. We need to order our materials and gather the supplies for that, and then we'd begin machining parts following the designs we made earlier. When a customer sent us an order of what they wanted, we'd go to that location, grab our box of parts, fill up what they wanted, and put it in a box for shipping. Depending on who they would like to have ship it and how fast they'd want to ship it would determine their price they would pay for shipping. Key resources to open on day one. We're going to need material, and we're going to need someone to run a machine, so we'll need a machinist, and we'll need 1 or 2 lathes depending on how many products we have ready to sell, and we'll definitely need a mill to do some of the more intricate pieces. Our costs, what I found from Metal Depot, was about $10 a foot for aluminum piping, and that's including shipping. Our machinist, with some rough calculation, we can get labor down to around $8 a lightsaber, and rent for 1,000 square feet of shop is about $300 a month, and that's based off of a small town figure that a friend of mine quoted who owns a shop that I could rent out. And since we do not need storefront, we can just go with a nice cheap shop area. My BMC now is much more expanded. Partners, we have Plector Labs, VPI Tech, and Metal Depot. Our cost structure is expanded out to include labor, and our key resources are much more in depth of exactly what we'll need. Our value proposition has definitely expanded to reflect what customers have showed interest in as we've done interviews outside the office. Channels have definitely been updated. Instead of Facebook, we're using physical channels of UPS, USPS, FedEx to get our product to our customers. Comic-Con booths to be there in person and to sell on site. Website as our year-round people can order and we can send them their product they would like. Customer relationships using Google Ads and Facebook Ads to promote us. And yeah, that's my product, and it should be lots of fun.